love, and light. YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. It's your girl Morgan Renee Myers. Tuning in with you all, me and my fro, for another live reading. Today, I am reading something that I should have read months ago, but in moving and misplaced, I'm just now getting to it. So here we are. There's a sister in my community by the name of Veronica Jerica Douglas, because she married now, and she has been writing these newsletters. I have the one from June and July. I'm not going to read that one now. Maybe I'll do it in another video, but I want to read the August and September one. We are in November 2022, but nonetheless, here we are. So this newsletter is entitled The Vanguard. I actually got to look that up, see what Vanguard means. Vanguard. And before I get into this, let me take a sip of my fresh pressed juice. Delectable. Made with fresh juice, celery, Granny Smith apples, and some ginger. So I'm starting my day off after I did a little workout too. Anyways, here we go. So this newsletter is called The Vanguard. This is from August and September of 2022. Keeping the people informed, one neighbor at a time. And I appreciate Veronica because she be keeping you informed, okay? She will give you some information, and I love to have knowledge passed on. So the mission statement of the newsletter is to awaken, empower, liberate, educate the people, eliminate the global system of racism on planet Earth, and replace it with justice principles of Mayat. Look up MA''AT if you've not heard of it. Great principles to live by. All right. Our own source. I'm reading the side column. So I'm reading this side column. And it reads, our own source. It is important to be able to have a source to communicate with the people on matters that affect the black community directly and indirectly. Media owned and controlled by us is important to liberate our minds and body as a people. I agree. Do you know your Winston-Salem City Council members? And she has different people listed. The East Ward, the North Ward, the Northeast Ward, Northwest Ward, a whole bunch of different people from the Winston-Salem area. All right, so let's get into the reading. A people that control the institutions control the people, from genocide to menticide. What is genocide? What is menticide? Let's first define genocide. Genocide, spelled GENOCIDE, means a structured system put in place for the purpose of exterminating, which means rid of by destroying, a very specific population by physical force such as murder and rape, and or biological and economic deconstruction such as providing harmful medicines, diminishing food supply, and removing important resources in the community that sustains the way of living for a specific group of people. Genocide in America toward black people was taking place during the time of our great great grandparents. Physical enslavement on the plantation up to the civil rights movement of the 1960s, being hanged from trees, houses and businesses burned to the ground, thousands of innocent black men, women, and children shot and killed, etc. The examples are the massacre in Wilmington, North Carolina, and massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to name a few. Okay, because there's been a plethora. These were intentional efforts to cripple a particular race of people and bring it down so bad that it cannot create and grow itself again, and if not, be extinct, crippled enough to be conquered and controlled by another race of people. This system of ideas is carried out at the local level as well as national level to this day. Menticide means a system designed for the destruction of a specific group's mind, with the goal and objective being to exterminate, to get rid of that specific group of people. Unlike genocide, which is an obvious physical force or physical act against a people, menticide is more subtle, dealing with the mind or the mental, the psyche of people. To get into the mind is to control behavior. Not to think that the goal of genocide was not being considered in the 1960s anymore, but with us as a black people having the courage to finally call white people out for their indiscretions, made them have to come up with other ways to destroy our black community instead of out in public violent ways. So they came to use the strategies of menticide. We are now under mind control and don't even realize it. She gonna make me pull out my book. Hold on. It's this book by this man called, there we go, keeps me a book nearby. Is this book called Recapturing the African Mind by Bruce Bridges. I think if I didn't read the entirety of it, I read a portion of it on my YouTube channel. We don't even know, a lot of us don't even know the menticide that is taking place. We are now under control and don't even realize it. If the original Native Americans were exterminated on this land called America, what makes us think it cannot happen to us as black people on this planet? Let's stop fooling ourselves and being naive to this fact. Let's think, organize, and act to get our people out of this situation. Okay? Because it takes us. We can't wait on an oppressor to free us. They're never. Why would they? There's only one major fight left, and that fight is for the black mind. And we are not on the winning track of that fight. We have to understand as a black people that we cannot solve issues of racial inequality in housing, jobs, business, etc. until we start to identify ourselves as who we truly are, which is African in America, not American. If we were truly African Americans, as we like to say, why are we still fighting and prosecuting for the same thing we were fighting and protesting? Oh, excuse me, I said prosecuting. Why are we still fighting and protesting for the same thing we were fighting and protesting for 62 years ago? Those civil rights would be automated, would be automated granted to us. I mean, we are American, right? Wrong. We are the only race of people who live in America and not fully given the rights and protection like other races. America is just a point of residency where you live, nothing more. Dang, Veronica. To change this path of menticide that our black community is being consumed by, we must first have to take seriously the images in media that we watch, whether intentionally or unintentionally, day after day. These images affect the mind, which affect behavior, which determines our reality, what we portray to the world. So who controls these images? The white dominant society. The mind control through images affect who we vote and trust in our communities, what institutions we support and don't support, what we teach our children and don't teach our children in return for the white dominant society to remain in control. Self-hatred is a form of menticide. When we do not honor ourselves as being black or any representation of blackness and not respecting and honoring black community, it's self-hatred. Self-hatred is the major factor in the violence we see against one another in the triad and beyond. If black folk dismiss black life and see it as inferior and unworthy, which was taught through media, music, schools, they have no problem or second thought of taking a black life because what they have been taught to think of themselves is unworthy, troublemaker, etc. Let me pause right here. That's a very good point. So we just know that we recently lost Brother Takeoff of the Migos, a rapper, and we've seen a number of rappers die to gun violence recently. Pop Smoke, Young Dolph, Nipsey, Tupac, Biggie. There's hella more. So with that in mind, a lot of people have been talking about gun violence and we need to stop the shooting and this and this and that. And then we're currently in November 2022. So within the last few weeks, Brother Kanye West has been coming up saying different things about Jews and how they run these music companies that run us. And he's been charged with being anti-Semitic, but really the brother is just speaking some facts. Excuse me. These music industry, these people that run these music industry are allowing us to create the music that is talking about us killing each other, and they're allowing that to play on air, and that's what's bringing the money. If we're talking about something peaceful and prosperous, that ain't really getting played. I mean, NDIRE is cool and all, but like she ain't get the accolades that Beyonce and them get. Okay, let's be very clear. So the powers that be in control of what they allow us, because let it be something about let me watch my words so they take this video down. But let us say we was talking about another culture that we were going to be exterminating and calling their women bitches and hoes and this and that, it would be a problem. But because we're doing it amongst our own people and they want us exterminated anyway, now that is a mindset that be within us sometime unknowingly. So let me finish this off because we're at the end of it. So I'm going to go back. It says self hatred is the major factor in the violence we see against one another in the triad and beyond. If black folks dismiss black life and see it as an inferior and unworthy, which was taught through media, music, and schools, they have no problem or second thought of taking a black life because what they have been taught to think of themselves is unworthy, troublemaker, etc. Black communities in Winston-Salem and other cities of the triad are not excluded from the effects of self hatred. Just look at the news. Unfortunately, the news portrays us always in a negative light without context. How do the people who have been oppressed for decades, even after being enslaved in this country, come to being so violent and unruly? Like Malcolm X said, who taught you to hate yourself? Gentrification of a nation. That's a line from Brother T. Walker's song. With self-hatred comes other races to begin to take over black communities and displace us at their expense for their profit, to provide luxury and security to the middle class whites and reward the black folks who want to assimilate, which means to join into a culture and reflect everything of that culture outside your own, that they can live that luxury life too by sacrificing in the process the original unique culture of the people before you. Whichever word they want to use, whether it is called urban development or gentrification, the bottom line is that it is the displacement of a sustaining black community being evicted out of a neighborhood because the white dominant society now see the property as a money bag. That's happened in Greensboro. There's parts of Greensboro was all black neighborhoods that the college I graduated from, UNCG, paid these people to move out, tore their houses down, built $1 million dorms and a gym over there, and all these black people had to be displaced from their homes that had been in the family for however many years. Gentrification is ridiculous, and it's always for profit and at the disposition of us. It's really us. They're not going to white people's neighborhood tearing their stuff down, saying we're about to move something in. It's always in lower income urban neighborhoods, talking about some urban development. No, you're developing this stuff so y'all can profit. All right, let me finish this because I'm getting upset. Whichever word they want to use, whether it is called urban redevelopment or gentrification, the bottom line is that it is the displacement of a sustaining black community being evicted out of the neighborhood because the white dominant society now see the property as a money bag. White dominant society has no compassion for other communities but their own. Unity in the black community is a must to combat this trend. And the solution is not holding signs and arguing at a conference with the white society to give us more time or handouts, but to come together and organize as a black people within the city of Winston-Salem and the Triad to come up with safe havens that black folks can come to and gather resources to assist the black family in these interesting times. We have to come together, come to the realization that all we got is us at the end of the day, and other races of people got their people. As a community, we have to learn and act on a race-first mindset. If we do not regain the race-first mindset, our own ancestors who backs we stand on would not be honored, and like the sands of the Sahara, it will bury us alive and claim we never even existed as a great, powerful people. Wow. That was deep, Veronica. She wrote that. So basically, to surmise her article, she's basically saying black folk need to stick together. We need to think race first, like the rest of these folk do. The folk that come into our neighborhoods and buy up property and sell stuff to us. Because how many of us own these gas station and convenience stores? How many of us own the local grocery stores? We always got to wait till a farmer market on the weekend. Come on. So we got to put our issues and our race first. And this is not to be racist because we don't hold the power that dictates everybody's life. Therefore, it's almost impossible to be racist. We could be prejudiced for sure. But being racist, you have to have hold some sort of power, be able to dictate some things about people's livelihood. And on a mass scale, us blacks ain't doing that. So we got to think about us and our people first. We got to not let them just come in and do what they want to do. We got to support those in office that are doing the work for us. Okay, so I'm going to end with reading the little quote she has on the side of this newsletter. Quotes for the mind. Powerful people cannot afford to educate the people they oppress, because once you are truly educated, you will not ask permission for power. You will take it. Stop waiting for people of other races to approve and promote your self love for African blackness, culture, language, etc. Start to control the narrative and support those who do. This is one of our defenses. We are a disjointed people asking for entry into someone else's house. If African black people all over the world are to save themselves, they must find a way to reclaim some of the life sustaining things they lost in slavery, colonialism, foreign control over people, and through the massive anti African black media propaganda spread it out all over the world. Black and beautiful means nothing unless you're black and powerful. So that is the end of this newsletter from August and September, written by Veronica Jarrett Douglas. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I gotta check in with her and see what the new newsletters are for October and November. Cause yes, and this is something that she's passing out among locals in our area, in the Greensboro, Winston Salem Triad area. And I'm very proud of her, and this is very necessary. So, thank y'all for taking time to listen. Hope you learned something. We matter. All right, peace.